Okay, Chapter 9.2, Measuring Area and Volume. In order to measure a region that is enclosed by boundaries, we begin by selecting a square unit. A square unit is a square, each of whose sides is 1 unit in length. The side of the square can be 1 inch, 1 centimeter, 1 meter, 1 foot, or any one of the other linear units of measure. Now pay attention to this though. Although there are 3 feet in 1 yard, these numerical relationships are not the same for square units. Let's look at our square that's 1 yard by 1 yard. So the formula for the area of a square, 1 times 1, this is 1 square yard. Over here, if we change the length to feet, then that's 3 feet on this side and 3 feet on this side, and we can see that that's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 square feet. Yes, 1 square yard equals 9 square feet, whereas 1 linear yard is 3 linear feet. Okay, so I got to be careful about my conversions when I'm talking in square units, or again in a minute in cubic units. Now notice what we can do here. If I know my linear unit, then my linear conversion, as long as I square both sides of an equal sign, right, both sides of an equation, it stays the same. So this would be 1 times 1, or 1, and my yard squared, 3 times 3, or 9, and my feet squared. So I can obtain any of my conversion factors for square areas, right, or just area, right, if I square both sides of my conversion. For example, I know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. So once again, I can find my formula for area by squaring that. Okay, 1 times 1 is still 1, but now I got to square my feet. 12 times 12 is 144 square inches, which is what we have listed right here. We also have units of area called acres. 1 acre is 43,560 square feet, or 4,840 square yards, and a square mile is 640 acres. Again, just thinking about the difference in the metric system and the English system, look at the numbers we're forced to work with in the English system. Okay, in the metric system, the square centimeter is used instead of the square inch. The square meter replaces the square foot and the square yard, and the English system uses the acre and the square mile to measure large land areas, where 1 square mile is 640 acres, but the metric system uses the hectare. A hectare is about the area of 2 football fields placed side by side, or 2.5 acres about. The square kilometer is used instead of the square mile. Okay, so we can think of the same kind of way here. Let's say we know our conversion factor in the metric system is 10 meters is 1 decameter, right? So following the same idea here, if we square both sides, then notice what that does. 10 times 10 is 100 square meters is 1 square decameter. Oh, yeah, it's just going to add that extra 0 when I square. So, King Henry danced merrily down Center Main. And if I want to convert 25 square meters to square centimeters, okay, if I were converting 25 meters to centimeters, I would start with the meters, move 2 places to the right, but because it's square, I'm going to double that, and I'm going to move 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 25 with 4 zeros, or 250,000 square meters, right? Doubling the number of places you move. Okay, volume refers to the amount of space occupied by 3-dimensional figures. In order to measure this space, we begin by selecting a cubic unit. The edges of a cube all have the same length. We have seen that there are 3 feet in a yard, but 9 square feet in a square yard. There are 27 cubic feet in a cubic yard, because not only do I have, let's think about this side right here is 9, but I also, now bear with my drawings, right? Now, if I count the number of cubes, here's 1 cube, 2, 3. Here's 3 cubes just on that corner. Here's 3 more cubes, so 6, 9 cubes, 12 cubes for this stack, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27 cubic feet in a cubic yard. The measure of volume also includes the amount of fluid that a 3-dimensional object can hold. This is often called the object's capacity. For example, we often refer to the capacity in gallons of a gas tank. A cubic yard has a capacity of about 200 gallons. So here's some more conversion factors in the English system. Again, look at the numbers that we're forced to deal with. 2 pints is a quart. 4 quarts is a gallon. A gallon is 128 fluid ounces. A cup is 8 fluid ounces. A cubic yard is about 200 gallons. 231 cubic inches is about 1 gallon. The base unit to measure capacity in the metric system is the liter. A liter is slightly larger than a quart. So a good basis. Of course, we're pretty good with liters now that our drinks come in 1 liter and 2 liter bottles, but a liter very close to a quart. In addition, this is really important right here. A cubic centimeter is 1 milliliter. It's very easy now for us to change from our linear measure to our volume measure, right, in terms of capacity. So let's see how we would convert in the metric system to maybe, let's do, I don't know, 357 cubic millimeters, and I want to go to cubic decimeters. All right, I still have King Henry danced merrily down Center Main. I'm starting with a decimeter. I'm starting with a millimeter, going 2 decimeters. So I want to move not just 2 places, because it's cubed, I'm going to move 6 places, right? 2 times 3. So 6 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0.00035 cubic decimeters. Now suppose I needed to change that into liters. Oh, well, I know that a cubic centimeter is 1 millimeter. So look how easy that is. A cubic centimeter is 1 millimeter. So I've got I want to change my 357 instead of decimeters. I want to change it to cubic centimeters. All right, I'm starting with millimeters. Just one place, but because it's cubed, I'm going to change the 57 cubic millimeters. I'm going to move it 1 times 3, or 3 places. So this is the equivalent of 0.357 cubic centimeters, but a cubic centimeter is a millimeter. So this is 0.357 milliliters. I just switched into two totally different kinds of measuring systems. And now if I want to know how many liters that is, well, all I have to do is change to liters. Everything else stays the same. So I'm at milliliters. And I want to go to liters. 3 places in that direction. So we'll add 3 zeros. Very simple. Very, very simple. Okay, let's do one in, say, the English system where we want to know how many gallons is in 5 cubic feet. All right, so I'm going to start with 5 cubic feet. Because I'm in the English system, if it involves the English system, I'm thinking dimensional analysis. All right, now, I can get to gallons from inches. So I need to change my feet to inches. I know that 1 foot is 12 inches. But that doesn't really matter because I've got a cubic foot up here. So I've got to cube this whole thing to get my conversion, my unit fraction, or my conversion factor. Now my cubic feet will cancel, and I'm in cubic inches. And I know that 231 cubic inches is 1 gallon. Now, don't cube all this. I'm already in cubic inches. So that gets to just immediately cancel. And here's what I have to multiply. 5 times 12 times 12 times 12, right? 12 cubed divided by 231 gives me 37.402. So I'm going to round to 2 decimal places, 40 gallons. So 5 cubic foot is about 37 gallons. Notice I had to pull out my calculator and look at the calculations. 12 times 12 times 12 divided by 231. I did all of this back and forth into different systems and everything without ever pulling out the calculator. The 357, the digits, the numerals never changed. All right, here's some factors to get us back and forth from the metric system to the English system. A teaspoon is about 5 milliliters. A quart, look, just under a liter. A liter and a quart, very close. Okay, let's see if we can continue to do some of these conversions and get some practice. All right. We want to convert the given square unit to the square unit indicated. Where necessary, we're always going to round to 2 decimal places. All right, we're going from meters to yards. Meters to yards. So at some point, I'm going to have to use my dimensional analysis. So I want to think, what do I have that gets me from the metric system to the English system? Oh, I know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So maybe the first thing I want to do is change this into square centimeters. Okay, so King Henry danced merrily down center Main. I'm going from meters to centimeters, but because it's square units, I've got to double that and go not 2 places, but 4 places to the right. So if I add my decimal right here, and I'm going to go 4 places to the right, that's going to add 4 zeros. That tells me that this value is 300,000 square centimeters. Okay, now I can use my dimensional analysis to go to the English system and then convert in the English system, because I know that 2.54 centimeters is the same thing as 1 inch. This isn't a complete conversion though. I've got centimeters squared and plain centimeters. So I've got to make sure that I account for that and square this unit fraction. Okay. Now I'm in square inches, but I want to go to square yards. Okay. I might know that there's 36 inches in a yard, but again, be careful. This is square inches and this is plain inches. So in order to adjust for that, I need to square this unit fraction so that my square inches and square inches will divide out, and all I'm left with are square yards. So what I'm going to plug in the calculator is 300,000 divided by, don't forget your parentheses, let me write it up here for us so we can see what it looks like. 300,000 divided by 2.54 squared times 36 squared, all in parentheses. So 300,000 divided by 2.54 squared times 36 squared, close your parentheses, 35.879. So 35.88 square yards. Okay, square inches to square centimeters. Hey, this one's going to be pretty easy because my conversion factor between the metric system and the English system is inches to centimeters. So I'm starting with square inches. So I'm going to write that over 1. And then my conversion factor is the fact that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. However, I need square inches. So don't forget to square everything. And I'm left with 14 times 2.54 squared, or 90.3224. So 90.32 square centimeters. Cubic feet to gallons. Cubic feet to gallons. So the main conversion that I know, getting from cubic units to capacity units, is that 231 cubic inches is a gallon. So I'm going to take, where I'm starting, my 10,000 cubic feet and change it to cubic inches. Okay, I know that 1 foot is 12 inches, but I need it to be cubic feet. So let's cube all of this. Now I'm in cubic inches, and I know that 231 cubic inches is 1 gallon. Now notice This is cubic inches, and this is already cubic inches. So I don't need to do anything else to that, and I'm left with gallons. 10,000 times 12 cubed divided by 231 gives 74,805. I get 1948, so we're going to say 0.19 gallons. Okay, here's some conversions in the metric system. 45,000 cubic centimeters. Hey, I know 1 cubic centimeter is a millimeter. So that means 45,000 cubic centimeters is the same thing as 45,000 milliliters. Boom, we've switched just that simply. 1 cubic centimeter is 1 milliliter. And now I can convert these milliliters to liters. Okay, starting at a milliliter, I want to go to a liter. So I'm going to go, the only difference is that's now liters. Wrong one. Okay, so 3 places to the left. It's 45 liters. As simple as that. 12 kiloliters to decimeters. Okay, well, my conversion factor is that 1 milliliter is a cubic centimeter, so I need to change this to milliliters. Alrighty. I'm at kiloliters. To go to milli, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 12 kiloliters is, move this 6 places to the right, so let's add 6 zeros. So 12 million milliliters. Well, once I'm in milliliters, then that's the same thing as 12 million cubic centimeters. Okay. And now that I'm in cubic centimeters, okay, I'm going from centimeters to decimeters. So that's just 1 place to the left. But because it's cubed, I got to do 1 times 3, or 3 places to the left. So 12,000 cubic decimeters. You might also see in the United States that a cubic centimeter is written this way, as a cc. Right? That's what a cc is, a cubic centimeter. So in case you see that, you'll know that these symbols are equal. What about this one? A swimming pool has a volume of 45,000 cubic feet. How many gallons of water does the pool hold? Oh, well, that's just a conversion. Convert cubic feet to gallons, which we did that right here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, except we're 45,000 instead of 10,000. So 45,000 cubic feet. Now my conversion factor that gets me to gallons goes through inches. So I know that 1 foot is 12 inches, but it needs to be feet cubed. So let's cube all of these so that those will divide out. And then now that I'm in cubic inches, I know that 231 cubic inches is 1 gallon. So these will divide out. And I'm left with gallons. All that's left to do is do the math. 45,000 times 12 cubed. 45 times 12 cubed divided by 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 divided by 231. Or 336,623.3766, which is 0.38 gallons. Okay, I think this is the last one, but let me see. Yes, that was the last one. So let me know if you have any questions. See you in the next round.